Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MSU Soccer Park. At today's USL match, please raise your scarves and welcome your New York Red Bulls 2 to the pitch for today's match. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem of Canada, to be immediately followed by the national anthem of the United States of America.
Start of summer here in the metro area. We are set for USL action. New York Red Bull 2 taking on the Ottawa Fury. From MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University, this is USL action. The New York Red Bulls 2 taking on Ottawa Fury FC. Alongside Steve Jolly, I'm Matt Harmon. We welcome you into this one. This is the second time these teams have played during the course of the season already, with one more to follow. And Steve, you're out now that point of the season. Start of summer, playoffs maybe starting to become in sight. Points always at a premium.
The points are always at a premium, and for these teams coming into this game where heat is definitely going to be a factor, it's this Red Bull team too that has to really focus on kind of competing with Ottawa, which has had 4 games in 12 days. Unbelievable.
Connections to two teams in Major League Soccer, obviously the New York Red Bulls and New York Red Bulls 2, but this Ottawa team has a connection with the Montreal Impact. We'll see Maxi Crepeau take over the start in goal today. Crepeau, a guy who has seen time at MLS with the Montreal Impact. If memory serves me correctly, he played against the New York Red Bulls a season or two ago. Didn't have a ton of success, but trying to find his game here in the USL.
One of many talented players that are on loan from MLS teams that we're going to see today.
On the flip side, for this New York Red Bull team, a dynamic attack led by former Academy product Amando Moreno, who's got 6 goals, Steve, already on the year.
A talented player, played a lot of youth national teams for U.S., went away from Mexico for a couple years and is back, and being a star. 6 goals so far here for Red Bull 2.
Should be a good one. Again, second time they played. It was back in May up in Ottawa, a scoreless draw on that particular day. Today they will play the second of 3 meetings during the course of the regular season. We'll send you out for a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for you. We'll have the opening kickoff for you, and we'll have a lot of fun on this June hot Sunday afternoon. The sun is blazing here at MSU Soccer Park. We'll keep you entertained all afternoon long for USL soccer action. New York Red Bull 2 looking for their 6th win of the year. Ottawa trying to creep back in to the playoff chase.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. a shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health. Life years ahead.
We are back here from MSU Soccer Park, Montclair State University, the site for today's USL game. New York Red Bull 2-5, 4-6 so far this season. Ottawa 4-6-3. You take a peek at what you will see today for this New York Red Bull team, set up in a 4-2-3-1. Familiar names in the back. Endom has been playing with the senior team, as has Ethan Cutler. We talked about Armando Moreno. Keep an eye as well, Steve. Christian Caceres Jr., a guy that the organization very, very high on. These are the opportunities for him to say he's ready for something bigger.
And I would also include, just because I've seen him a couple of times, Brian White, number 42.
On the flip side, there's the Ottawa lineup, a 4-3-3 setup. Tony Taylor spent some time with Major League Soccer. Carl Howarth, a guy to keep an eye up top. And again, we've already talked about Crapo. He will be the guy today in goal. The two coaches, respectively, John Wallenick, the former Metro Star Red Bull player, now has continued to develop this USL team and franchise. They won it back in 2016, both the Supporter Shield and the USL Championship. We are set and ready for action. It will be New York Red Bull 2 in white and Ottawa in the black jerseys and uniforms today. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Sunday afternoon in New Jersey. Steve, you mentioned the heat. If the sun stays behind those clouds, it is noticeably cooler, but when it pops out, it is pretty warm and almost stifling to some point. We'll see how much of a role that plays today. Quickly upfield is Brian White. This is touched out by Ottawa, and it will be a New York Red Bull 2 throw-in. Throw is taken by Cutler. Cutler got some time with the senior team and played pretty well in a couple of appearances. One in the U.S. Open Cup in a 4-0 win over NYCFC. Saw some time in a couple of MLS regular season games as well. Converted forward from his days at Colgate. An Ottawa team that right now, at the beginning of the day, starting in 13th place in the USL. Top 8 make the playoffs. This New York Red Bull team teetering right around the playoff line.
After this Red Bull team, it really has come down to just a little bit of inconsistency in the back line. A lot of names have passed through that flat back line, so they've given up some porous goals. But thinking back at the last result against Bethlehem, being up 2-0 and then giving away 2 goals in the last 5 minutes just is not good enough for this team right now and the talent that is available for John Wallenick. Good
step there by Acque, but he gets called for a foul. Moreno protesting, and it will be a set piece here for Ottawa. And the, I'd say, newly updated home field for this New York Red Bull 2 team. They played a bunch of games in Harrison at the beginning of the year as the stadium was going through some reinforcements. New field, continued updated with bleachers and stands. This will be dropped into the back for Crapo. Moreno chasing. Back upfield, Cutler will see it out. Teams will play again in August. That will also be back here at MSU Soccer Park. Bouncing ball. This could be dangerous with Moreno lurking. Good job by Eddie Edward, the right back for Ottawa. Caceres looking for space. Slowed down and taken away by Ottawa. Long ball over the top. This could be dangerous. Running onto it is Tony Taylor. Taylor waiting for help. He's got some help. This is a shot that finds the back of the net. Reed will score for Ottawa in transition. A slow counter. And the Fury get themselves an early 1-0 advantage in the 4th minute.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Good little counterattack where Taylor finds Reed. Reed does a phenomenal job finding that far post. Good setup, first touch. Finds the far post and gives this Ottawa team a very good start here in the first 4 minutes of play.
You come on the road, you always like to be able to play from in front. Reed, a guy who is on loan from FC Dallas, a team that we saw last night. New York Red Bulls knocking off FC Dallas, a convincing 3-0 win. Ackway will guide it out, and a throw-in coming here for New York. Lucas Stauffer takes it quickly. And Dom wide right for Cutler. Looking upfield for Brian White, the 2018 first-round pick of New York Red Bulls.
Yeah, would expect here today that we're going to see a lot on that right-hand side. A combination of Cutler, who's gotten some first-time experience, along with White, who was called up for an Open Cup game. Those are two players that Jesse Marsh and his first-team staff are very much looking at.
Here's Moreno. Can't get it through Adacora. And it's won back here by the Fury. Haworth upfield. Tackled by Stauffer, but not completely out. Another build-up here for Ottawa inside the box. Serve top of the 18. Open to the outside is Oliveira. Taken out by Ackway. Aguinagua cannot hang on to it. There's a handball coming. And New York Red Bull 2 be able to play out of their back end. 6 minutes of action. 1 goal already on the board. It came for the Ottawa Fury. Ackway and Dom, 2 young center backs. Steve, you're very familiar. If you can make your mark as a center back, you can have a long career as a professional soccer player.
No question. Talented, athletic defenders. We've seen them quite a bit over the last year or two, and right now it's just a little bit of a slow start and not reading the play, and obviously giving Taylor too much time, and Reed especially too much time, even though Reed had a good first touch there.
Ottawa be able to play out of their defensive third, leading 1-0 in the 7th minute. Fury, a team that up until last year, member of the NASL from 2011 to 2016. Last year, their first year in USL, 8, 10, and 14. Stauffer to run it down, drops it in the box for Loro. To his right for Endom. Cutler able to control. He's looking to spring Tom Barlow, who is not able to get past the keeper. Barlow keeping it alive. He and Moreno miscommunicate. Moreno here 20 yards out. Takes a touch inside, and Aguinaga dispossessed, and it's cleared out by the Fury.
Able to see there Barlow's pace. Phenomenal job coming off his line, Crapo, to save that opportunity there for Ottawa. Crapo's going to want that one back. Felt like it could have been a little bit better touch on the top of the 18, but Crapo All credit to him in terms of coming off the line. Great job.
Set piece coming here for New York Red Bull 2. 8th minute. Home side trailing 1-0. This will come from about 35 yards out. Cutler around the ball. And Chris Lima, the 21-year-old. Cutler will strike, and this one is sitting inside the 6-yard box. Cleared off, and it will be a corner coming here for New York Red Bull 2. What a hit by Ethan Cutler. Good job by Crapo to see it. There was a rebound sitting for the picking for someone in white. Instead, it will be a corner coming here, and it will be Lima sizing it up. Hits this with his left foot. Bounces once through the top of the 18. Grab back by Stauffer. Good job of weaving through some traffic. Moreno, corner of the box. Bends one in, looking for Barlow. Bit too high, and it's Crapo who grabs it. Just about set to enter the 10th minute of action.
You can see here just a couple minutes ago, good little finish. A little strike at the ball, good coverage by Crapo. At the end, looks like Dixon was smart enough to play it out, put it out of pressure. You're starting to see maybe this Red Bull team getting a little bit more comfortable and confident on the possession.
Caceres losing it in transition. Haworth upfield. Here's Taylor. About 12 yards from the end line, trying to cut back against Endom. 2-on-1 for Ottawa. Good job by Stauffer to just knock it out of play and let Red Bull 2 reorganize defensively.
This Ottawa team, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, playing their 4th game in 12 days. They've got a couple more games in the next week or so, so 6 games in 18 days. Being up here so early in this game, you would think that they're going to try to slow this down as much as possible and try to kind of kill off the minutes as much as they can at certain points in the game.
This is a Red Bull team which has been busy as well. They played on the 16th against Pittsburgh on the road, lost that 3-0. Played just this past week on the 20th of June, 2-2 draw with Bethlehem Steel FC, in which in that game, New York Red Bull 2 led 2-0. Bethlehem with a couple of late goals. Into space, this is Brian White. Outer part of the box right side. Kept in play off the clearance by Mayer Gier. That's a diving save made by Crapo, and he gobbles up the rebound at the top of the 6-yard line.
I like to see the confidence there by Caceres, having no fear. Getting possession, as we're going to see in this replay in a second, gaining possession and right away just putting his head down. Love this. Taking a strike, almost slides it past Crapo. But Crapo swallows it up. A good job by Crapo, but also a good job by Caceres to have the confidence to hit that ball.
Put down by Acque, who will play it to Caceres. Early goal for Ottawa off the foot of Reed, giving them a 1-0 advantage. We're in the 12th minute right now. Bouncing off on the right side for Cutler. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50. Bouncing ball here for Taylor, and Acque will do battle. Guided out for what will be a New York Red Bull 2 throw in as we enter the 13th minute of play.
That's a new turf here at the stadium, and still a little spongy, but plays somewhat fast, partly because they try to water as much as possible before the game. really important that both teams, they want to try to capitalize on this turf. It's just try to spread it out as much as possible. Defending is so difficult, especially with the heat, and the turf kind of radiates the heat a little bit. Just open up the field of play a little bit. Try to manage possession as much as possible and spread the field out.
Nice turn on the ball by Caceres, and then he was dragged down. So another set piece chance coming here for New York Red Bull 2. Lima going over there. Aguanaga going over there as well. This will be a good solid 40 yards out. Last time they were in this spot or close to it was Ethan Cutler who took it.
You would have to think that Ndam has to be the primary point here. Great size, good in the air. And with this Ottawa having to set a high wall here on the 18-yard box, it's a good space.
Ben-In Ndam is the player that New York was looking for. He was offside. Would not have counted had he put it on frame, but partner right on cue.
Come on here. Help me out here, buddy. Come on. Good little ball. Ndam stepped too much. But, yeah, didn't miss it too much. He is just a threat, to say the least. Anytime there's a set piece, indirect piece, so big in the air. A good defensive play by Adokora. Cover him up a little bit and hold his line, make sure that Ndam was offside.
Stauffer out of the air. Edward can't get it all the way through. Caceres will tap it back. And Ndam will go and run it down. You think for these guys, Steve, an Ndam, a Cutler, guys that have been a little bit on the fringe of getting more time with the MLS team, these minutes are so crucial to their development.
I mean, it truly is. I mean, when you just look at USL in totality, and these two teams are wonderful examples. You look at Ottawa, plenty of players who are on loan from Montreal, Toronto FC, experienced players that have played in Ottawa for a couple years, whether that be Howarth. And then you look at Red Bull, and I mean, you just look at the talent that these young players possess, and this is an organization here at Red Bull that really focuses on youth development and gives those young guys plenty of opportunities, and some step up big time when they do get the opportunities, and Ndam and obviously Cutler are two wonderful examples of those two players.
Set piece coming here for the Fury. They'll take it short and change the point of attack. Ball winds up at the right foot of Eddie Edward. Drop it back for Dixon. Pressure now coming from Aguinagua. Crapo clears off to his right. That will get through to Haworth. Caceres stepping forward. Nice little touch by Moreno. Diving play by Adokora to save an attempted goal from New York Red Bull 2. Caceres, Barlow, little flip. And now the Fury can counter again.
Well, good job there by Lima. Dispossessed. Now here's an opportunity for a counterattack. Let's see how. Well, I spoke too soon. Really, when that Ottawa team gets behind the ball and flattens out, it's important for them, this Red Bull team, to get it wide. Look at guys that, like Moreno on this left-hand side or White on the right-hand side, to really spread out the field of play.
Lima checking back, splitting the distance between his center backs. Ndam will be the one who will bring it upfield. Caceres at the midline. Certainly much better than the first couple of minutes out of possession for this New York Red Bull team.
Completely agree. That's exactly what you don't want in terms of a start.
Cutler, nice driving ball, goes just over the head of White. Comes back to Lima. His shot is deflected down. Tapped out by Ottawa, and a throw in here for New York.
Yeah, for guys like Stauffer and Cutler, it's too good of an opportunity here to be an outside back here in this organization, where they stress the idea of getting forward and being engaged and involved in the offensive field of play. It's just, when you get that chance, get forward. Nobody's going to ever blame you when you get forward in that respect, especially here at Red Bull.
Foul here on New York. A little too much pushing forward, and Ottawa will be able to play just outside of their 18-yard box as we are into the 18th minute. It is still Ottawa with a 1-0 advantage.
And you can see Crepo taking his time. Experienced player, knows his team on the road up in the first 20 minutes. Just take his time and try to slow the game down as much as possible. And since he saw the ball in the shade, he's probably hanging out in the shade for a little bit longer than normal too.
Never too early if you're the road team with the lead, right?
Yeah, just chill out a little bit, relax.
Little couple seconds here, couple seconds there. Ball kept in play. I think everyone was looking for a potential foul that didn't come. Here's Moreno trying to play it over the top. Second ball win for New York. Edward on the bounce, grabs back for Ottawa. Reed running it down. He'll be onside with his touch. Endom cannot save the corner for New York, and a set-piece opportunity coming for the Fury.
Good job by Endom to track back and win that one. But it is the Fury and Howarth that has an opportunity here in this corner kick to try to extend the lead. See how disciplined this Red Bull team is.
Player down at the top of the 18 for Ottawa. And the training staff for the Fury will be called on.
I mean, we really can't underestimate the heat here today. And you add that with a turf. It's a unique turf. Like I said, it's a brand new turf. And traditionally turf, they use black rubber so it kind of absorbs and kind of creates more heat. Here they tried to use a green turf to make it a little bit cooler, but you know, we walked the turf before the game, and it's a good 5-10 degrees hotter around that turf than it is here in the stands.
At a core of the player that is limping a bit for the Fury, he is able to walk off the field under his own power as we're set to enter the 21st minute. Here, the 20th right now. 1-0 Ottawa with a corner coming for the Fury. Howarth over in the far corner. We'll take it for Ottawa. Bending ball in on Loro. Headed out first time. Second touch by Moreno. He'll play himself and try to put together a one-man counter. Drop for Cutler. Flip back over the top. Edward is there first and will elect to not be too cute with it and play it out for a throw-in for New York. Drop for Cutler. Good bending ball in. Headed down. Caceres off the turf. Tries a shot and it gets deflected before it can get through.
Well, again, we're able to see Caceres, who is looking for a goal here and gets a good opportunity. Unfortunately for him, it's deflected. But it looks like this Red Bull team regains possession. Let's see if they can build it out again. And through it looks like Lima now. And try to move the ball as fast as possible.
Flipping up top here and controlled by Ottawa. Lima stepping forward. Watch to get exclusive video content and photography across the USL. Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer.
Obasi with a good defensive play on that left-hand side.
Nice flip in here for Aguanaga, but he is out before he can get a touch. And a goal kick coming for Crepo. Coming up on the midpoint here of this first half. With Steve Jolly, I'm Matt Harmon. Welcome you to USL Soccer here from MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University in northern Jersey. After this one, Ottawa on the road against, home I should say, against AS Blainville on Wednesday. And then a pair of games on the road at FC Cincinnati and at the Indy 11. Foul coming. It's about the third or fourth time that Caceres has wound up on the deck.
Dixon, in the middle of the park there for Ottawa, has become quite the enforcer so far in the first 22 minutes.
Cutler, early ball, was looking for Barlow. Caceres taken off his feet again. This time the referee will not blow the whistle. And Caceres able to win it back in midfield. Drop for Loro.
Again, I think it's important that this Red Bull team tries to spread out the field of play a little bit more than they are right now. It's getting quite congested here.
Seen at least so far, Steve, in the first now almost 23 minutes. A lot for New York has been on the right side.
Yeah. Not shocking due to the fact that it's the shady side, but still so important on this field. This Red Bull team spreads it out. Try to capitalize and utilize the left side as much as possible with Moreno and Stauffer when you get a chance. And keep the ball moving. Defending is so much more tiring than offensive.
Crapo finally picks it up. Barlow somewhat keeping an eye on him.
If anything, I think you need to get it wide and try to push forward with guys like Brian White and Moreno. Try to capitalize on hopefully some set pieces or maybe even some corner kicks when you've got just the talent and the size of Ndam. It's just an incredible threat and asset that you got to capitalize more on. I mean, he is a difference maker because of his size. Sort of like you, Matt.
I'm an enforcer.
No, I'm at the size part.
Taken down nicely by Oliveira. Howarth trying to get his way through traffic. Lima able to slide, win it back for New York Red Bull 2. Caceres now on the turf. Ball settles down to his right foot. Drops for Acque. Mishits that intended ball for Stauffer. And it will be a Ottawa throw in here in the 25th minute with the Fury still leading 1-0.
I like the idea, though. Wins the ball and quickly puts his head up and looking to get forward. Get forward wide, so miss hit, but a good idea there by Acque.
Throw upfield, Taylor. Howarth streaking down the right side. Trying to fake Ndam, who's got pretty good position. Good enough to get his team a goal kick.
Red Bull playing out of the back. You could see Laura with plenty of confidence with the ball at his feet. Love seeing keepers having that much confidence. Try to maintain possession as much as possible.
Former University of Michigan standout. Signing as a homegrown player for the New York Red Bulls. Has spent most of his time on the field, at least here with New York Red Bull 2 at the USL, though with some injury issues for New York during the course of the season for both Luis Robles and for Ryan Mara. Loro has been the backup keeper several times during the course of the year. Ndam.
And this is a good example, Matt, of what I was talking about, how Red Bull is focused too much time in trying to possess in a small space and just have to open up the game a bit. I think it's going to speed up the play and benefit this Red Bull team.
It's played high in the air from Ndam. Barlow and Moreno chasing. One back by Dixon. Lima upfield. Caceres will try and get it wide. Stauffer running it down. Edward there first, and it's played into the second row of the bleachers here at MSU Park.
There needs to be a little bit more urgency here by Red Bull. Down a goal here. 28 minutes in. I'd like to see him get forward a little bit better in the final third here.
Caceres Going to whip one in. Tough bouncing ball in on Crapo, but nobody from New York running in to challenge. And an easy play by the player down here on loan from Montreal.
And the ball goes wide, and Caceres, with plenty of time, throws it inside the box. It does bounce, but you can see there, misread in terms of timing a little bit by Barlow, but a good idea again by Caceres.
Nice turn into space. Here comes Reed, who will be called offside. He's got the game's only goal. Ottawa not thrilled with that last call, but as we enter here the 29th minute, it will be New York who will push forward. Aguinagua. Wide right for Cutler. Free ball for Lima at the circle. Stauffer trying to chip in. Looked like a takedown. Not sure if it was in or outside the box. Referee will say just outside. But a massive opportunity coming here for New York Red Bull 2. They will have a free kick from a ball's worth just outside the 18.
And we're going to see here right on this replay. Is it outside the 18-yard box or in? Looks like it's right outside. A good call by the center official, but what an excellent opportunity here for Red Bull. So many players. There's going to be a fight over this ball to get this opportunity here. 18 yards out. And as always, you've got to test the keeper. You've got to make sure that Crapo makes a big save here.
This is one that you can see. There's 4 players around. It started with 6. This is one everybody wants, right?
Everybody wants one. Even a defender will step in there every once in a while.
Aguinagua is there. Cutler is there. This will be hit by Lima and missed off to the far side.
You can see Crapo communicating with his teammates right away.
Don't think he saw it.
Don't think he saw it at all. And you can see his reaction. If anything, he feels like he got a little lucky there. And boy, oh boy, then Lima just barely missed that far post.
Just about 30 minutes in to this first half. Howarth with Stauffer 1v1. Tried to go through the wickets, read well by Stauffer. Ahead now for Caceres. Red Bull has numbers forward. Crapo saw it and was already off his line. And we'll grab that before any danger is done.
Well, Caceres putting his head up, trying to find Barlow. But again, we've seen 3 or 4 times now where Crapo does a great job getting off his line and covering that space behind his defenders.
Stauffer creeping up. Nice ball through the channel for Moreno. He'll take a shot off target. And looks like Brian White able to keep it in. Entering the box is Lima. His touch a bit heavy, and it's guided out by the Fury.
That Moreno's going to want that one back. He had plenty of runners inside the box. All he had to do was play it across the 6-yard line. And it was White, and it was Crapo. It was Barlow there waiting for that opportunity.
Actually going to change this call to a corner for New York.
Missed opportunity here for Red Bull in the 32nd minute.
Perhaps another chance for the home side. Bending ball in. The target was Moreno. Caceres, first time ball that goes just wide.
Well, again, it's Caceres who's been a bright spot here for this Red Bull team. Again, all the confidence in the world, takes the volley. If anything, a half volley, trying to find that far post. Oh, it's a volley. You like the confidence. And Caceres, again, is looking for his opportunities. You would think that he would be rewarded at some point.
We'll get the water stoppage for a moment as the teams with the heat a factor today on what was a generally cloudy day for the most part. The sun popping out here late in the afternoon, and it's made it a tad uncomfortable.
Yeah, There's no question that this water break is very deserving for these players. The heat has definitely factored into this game right now. How this team responds when they come back from the water break with this Red Bull team, really important in the final 15 minutes, 13 minutes of the game, or excuse me, the first half. Try to maintain the possession, open the field of play up, 1 and 2 touches, make this Ottawa team have more movement defensively. That's what's going to slow them down and tire them out a little bit more. But again, Caceres becomes a dangerous threat there in the center of the park.
What a difference when the sun dips under the cloud as it just did. It's warm.
It's very warm.
It's
warm. You can see there as the fans, what a great little facility here at Montclair State. But the fans are definitely feeling it today with the heat and the humidity. Crapo, as we see there, has been no question a bright spot here for this Ottawa team. Coming up big quite a few times. His experience, was it I think 3 games that he's played for Montreal last year, if I'm not mistaken?
And part of the Canadian Championship.
Yeah. I actually think he, if I remember correctly, he had some Gold Cup experience. But I'm getting old and forget things, but no question he's a talented player and huge asset for this Ottawa team.
Well, he's like any other young keeper, right, Steve? You need minutes. And if you think of most MLS teams, there are veteran guys that are established. You've got to be able to have younger players play if they're ever going to get any better.
Red Bull's a perfect example. You know, Mara and obviously Lauro have the sometimes difficult situation for at least themselves, having a guy like Robles, the ultimate professional in front of you, who keeps on playing and recording game after game after game.
Ball dropped into the box for Lauro. Acque will be the player who will run it out. 35th minute of action. Post-water break. It is still 1-0 Ottawa.
Let's see, this is way too much time with the ball at your feet. Got to let it move. That's a good pass, entry pass from Stoffer. Barlow's got to do a little bit better, but that's what we need to see here by Red Bull. Everything's got to be a little bit quicker. Everything's got to be a little bit faster. There's absolutely no excuse with the field. Great little surface.
Here's Caceres creeping forward. 22 yards out. He's fouled for, I think, the 5th time today. He's been a magnet for those black and red jerseys of Ottawa, and he'll draw New York another set-piece chance, of which they've had several so far.
They have, and it was Lima who stepped up and just barely missed it wide. But here, for me, this is prime spot for a direct free kick. Because of the angle and because of the distance here, you can play to the near post or the far post, so it keeps the keeper guessing a little bit longer than normal. But this is yet again another good opportunity by either Lima, and I'm guessing it's Cutler for this time.
Cutler would be a right-footed chance. Lima could bend it with his left. Cutler, the run-up. He will take it and drive it. Crapo, two-hand punch out over the end line. Corner coming for New York. You'd say maybe you do better with that, but to your point, Steve, test the keeper.
You got to test the keeper. I have no problem whatsoever right there. You could see that in that specific play, Crapo decided that he couldn't hold possession of it and had to punch it out, but you tested the keeper, and a good job by Cutler.
Lima coming here for a corner for New York. Corner of the 6. It is handled first time by Dixon. Headed back down by Stoffer. Chested down Lima, who was expecting some help that never came.
We'll be able to see this specific set piece there. And one thing I liked a lot, not only just testing the keeper, Crapo, but also just the pace that Cutler got behind the ball. Good little opportunity there by Cutler. Young player, gaining more and more confidence by the day. Let's just see. Again, Caceres doing a good job opening up the field of play, but look where Cutler's standing, right in the middle of the field. He needs to open that self up to the sidelines.
Bouncing ball over the top, and Dom gets there before Taylor does. Enough for Acque, into the box for Lauro.
We go into the final 7 or 8 minutes here. And this Red Bull team's got to do better in the final 5 or 7 minutes and making sure that they don't come out down by 2 goals.
Taylor trying to challenge again. Edward bumped off the ball by Moreno. We talked about this in the open. One of the luxuries of doing a game here or there, USL, is you can make the connection to Major League Soccer. Saturday, July 29th, 2017, that was Maxi Crepo's first game in MLS, and he took on a New York Red Bull team in Harrison, gave up 4 goals.
Man, just crushed him there, buddy. We're giving him some good love here the last 40 minutes, and then you just had to throw out the dagger on him.
Well, just speaking the truth. That was his Major League Soccer debut, as I recall. I also recall my Red Bull radio partner not being so kind the other day either.
Speaking of not so kind, I'm looking at John Woniak's reactions on the sidelines right now, and you can see the frustration has definitely set in. He's got a lot of things that he's going to want to talk to about this team here at halftime in terms of not only just some technical things, but more importantly, maybe tactically.
Howarth just got tackled. It'll be a short corner look coming here for Ottawa. Howarth looks like he's going to call his own number. They're going to have to drag the ball back a good solid 5 yards. Dangerous opportunity coming here for the Fury late in the first half, entering the 40th minute of play. One-man wall with Moreno. Howarth bends it in. Set chance coming back in for Reed, who's got the goal already. Well off target with that return ball.
Well, Reed with the goal earlier today. You'd like to see that clearance a little bit better in terms of up and out. Gives Reed an opportunity to step on it after the second touch and try to put it on frame. Fortunately for Red Bull.
Barlow could be in here. A step on. Edward taken down. Here's Moreno with it. They won't allow the play through. They will call a foul instead. Got to be on.
Got to let the play run first more than anything else.
The only thing would be, I guess, if they're going to call it. Yeah, I mean, the foul was clearly on Ottawa.
So help me understand why they're calling the foul and not letting it run through. I'm questioning maybe that decision. That's okay to give a yellow card, but wait until the play runs through, see if it goes in the back of the net, and then give the player a yellow card afterwards.
Which it did with Moreno. Instead, New York Red Bull 2 will have another set piece coming from just outside the 18-yard box. A yellow issued to Eddie Edward here in the 41st minute.
Yeah, John Woniak's going to have the fourth official's ear, quite frankly, on that specific play, because I question anytime a referee stops the momentum of a play just to give a guy a foul when it's obvious that this Red Bull team has the ball at their feet and an opportunity to put that one in goal, an empty goal at that.
Of which Moreno did wind up doing.
We're going to see here what the final decision is. And it looks like he's going to give him another free kick right outside the box, but I'm going to do my best to hold my tongue on that one. I think that was a poor decision.
Well, you already kind of said it.
I know. Calm me down there, Matt.
I like riled up Jolly.
Again, you can see I'm looking at John Woniak and the fourth official. He's going absolutely bonkers right now. How do you make that call?
Caceres looks like he might call his own number here. Another opportunity. This is the second of the day from almost an identical spot for New York. Endom coming up as well. Caceres will take this one. Too much underneath it. Off target and over the bar. And Ottawa dodging a major opportunity.
So we're going to see this replay. Unfortunately, I think we're going to see another opportunity of where a center official gets involved way too much and makes a call outside the box and allows Caceres to step over it, who just kind of blasted it. You know my rule on this one, Matt. It's always try to test that keeper first and foremost. Got to get it on frame.
Red Bull have certainly had their chances. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. Barlow tried a combination ball with Caceres. Howarth onside. His bending ball in. Reed and Cutler will do battle. Played back inside the 18. Lima with just enough of a touch to get it out of danger for New York Red Bull 2.
Well, good job by Reed to play the ball back. You can see Lima doing a good job tracking back and playing the ball out. This Red Bull team trying to finish off this first half. Still maybe a little frustrated with what occurred a couple minutes ago, and Barlow doing a great job trying to get on the end of it, gets fouled, put the call outside the box.
44th minute. Dangerous again inside. Caceres with a touch to get it away from Reed. Upfield, Barlow dispossessed and taken out. Endom able to clear just enough. Edward, big step forward, almost went through Moreno, and a throw-in coming for New York.
Well, plenty of possession here by Red Bull. I don't know how effective it's been. A little too clogged for my taste. You can see here you got 5-6 players all within a 10-yard radius of each other. Open the game up. Let people run a little bit more.
Well, I'd say, is that New York not doing enough of what they want to do, Steve, or is that Ottawa doing a good job of clogging things up?
No, I think it comes down to Red Bull. I mean, they've had plenty of time with the ball at their feet. I think the opposite players here, if it's on the left-hand side, you can see, just look right here in the play that we're seeing right here. Brian White tucked in. You see Cutler going to be beat on that far side because he's tucked in way too much.
Upfield again is Reed. Reed trying to get around Cutler. Top of the 18. Shot that didn't get a whole lot on it. It will be a goal kick coming.
Again, you can see Cutler being beat on that far side, tucked in a little too much, allows the talent Reed to cut inside, and now I'm pressuring him a little bit. Just barely misses that near post.
Moreno trying to dummy it through. Caceres into space. Stauffer can't get a touch to keep it on as we have hit 45 on the clock. And according to the fourth official, we will have 5 extra minutes of stoppage time. It's one of those days everybody on the field is just saying, all right, let's
got the injury time.
Let's get through stoppage time and just move through. Caceres, Lima. Direct ball for White. Crapo touches it before it goes out over the end line.
Well, you got to give this Ottawa team all the credit in the world right now in the first half. Playing their 4th game in 12 days and doing a good job keeping a clean sheet so far.
Aguinaga pressing up. Moreno, top of the 18. His touchback to his right foot. Shot is deflected by Edward. Keeping it on and getting into space was Aguinaga. And he gets called for a foul. Little too much contact coming through.
Again, you can see Crapo taking his time as much as possible, trying to slow this one up, get into the halftime. Still a goal up.
Bouncing ball here, and then it will be put into orbit by Oliveira. Goal kick for Laro. Good turn by Stauffer. It goes off the foot of Adekora, and a throw in here for New York, and a chance to push some numbers forward as we're about 2 minutes in to our 5 minutes of stoppage time. Caceres looking, wanting Brian White on a diagonal run. Caceres and Dixon come together. Dixon is called for the foul that time. Lima dropping back for Endam. Now Moreno coming across the field, doesn't have anybody as Cutler joins the attack late. Cutler down the alley right side, bouncing ball in, almost deflected its way through. Good challenge, and it will be a New York Red Bull 2 throw in.
Yeah, that play is on all day. Cutler needs to be a little bit more aware earlier. But plenty of space on the outsides here for both Stauffer and Cutler, right and left-hand sides. Great Bull tries to kill the game some more and just hoping to get out of this first half.
We are in the 4th minute of 5 that was signaled, with Ottawa leading 1-0. Their goal came early. Caceres with Lima. Building here, Aguanaga. Moreno in space. Top of the circle, right-footed shot, just off target. Good rip that time by Amado Moreno. Was looking for his 7th of the year.
Well, good job by Moreno. Like to see him test Grable, but I like that overlapping run by Caceres, who really opened it up for Moreno. You see Adecora step up to Moreno, pressure him a little bit. And Crepo with the late dive, but a good chance there as we're just seconds away for this first half to end.
Moreno has it go over his head. Edward will take this throw. Howarth against Stauffer. Both players grabbing each other's jersey, each wanting fouls. That will take us to the end of this first half. Adonijah Reed with the goal early in the first half. That has been all the scoring on a scorching day in northern New Jersey. The Ottawa Fury leading New York Red Bull 2, 1-0. We take a timeout. When we return, we'll run you through halftime with a bunch of information. Unfortunately, John Wallinack going to lose the conversation about that play on, as looked like New York might have an opportunity for the equalizer. Instead, the Fury coming down from our neighbor to the north, Canada. They lead 45 minutes in, 1-0 over New York Red Bull 2. We're back with more.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health. Life years ahead.
It is halftime from MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University with Steve Jolly. I'm Matt Harmon. It is 45 in, 45 left, 1-0 the Ottawa Fury lead. Their goal coming from Adajai Reed. We take a look at our players that we talked about in the open. Armando Moreno, Steve, had a great opportunity at the end of that first half, but you know for John Wallenick, they want to get number 20 more involved.
No question. Moreno continues to be creative here on the left-hand side. With this Red Bull team, as much as possible, between it's Moreno or even you have on the right-hand side Brian White. Those are two players that I think can be extremely dangerous in the second half.
Maxi Crepeau, who we talked about in the open as well for this Ottawa Fury team, down on loan from Montreal, and as you expect from a guy down on loan, he's commanded the box pretty well for a young keeper. He's made a couple of big saves, but he's really taken charge.
Yeah, kudos to the production staff, making him their star player, at least away star player of the game to focus on, because he has most definitely been the difference maker here for Ottawa.
Here, I thought that was you who made that command decision.
No.
Obviously not at all, but you see he has been tested a couple times. That last shot from Caceres, and there's been some other opportunities. Next home match for this New York Red Bull 2 team against Atlanta United 2. That will be over the 4th of July weekend on the 6th here at MSU Soccer Park. For tickets and more information, go to the New York Red Bull 2 website for all of what you need to know. We'll take a timeout here. We are still 1-0 as Ottawa leads New York. We're back with more on our halftime segment. USL Soccer continuing here with Ottawa on top, 1-0.
Now Silva! Oh my goodness! What a goal! Mateo Silva!
Amadou Diop. Jason Johnson! You've got to be kidding me! An otherworldly goal from JJ! 2-2 at home. Here the young season, and a golazo from Manu Ledesma.
Bourgeois got ahead to it. They score! Surely that's the winner! It's Ropapa Mensah!
For Cheney and Johnson! Jamal Johnson does it again! And a goal! And an equalizer! Big save by John McCarthy. Buffon punched away Ranjitsingh. On Sparrow again! Wow. What a save. Connor Sparrow shot from distance. And Cochran with that brilliant effort. My goodness.
It's Job save!
On to the right, Smith. Into the box. Headed past McCarthy, and there it is.
Steps, strikes, and scores.
Benjamin headed. Goal! Penesi!
This one will drop to Miller. Miller tie!
We are back here at MSU Soccer Park. Let's go around the league with USL Player of the Week from FC Cincinnati, Emmanuel Ledesma. Good week for one of the bright stars, Ledesma. A pair of goals as Cincinnati knocked off Richmond 4-0 at Nippert Stadium. Steve, a place you and I are familiar with. We saw the Open Cup semifinal last year. It is a dynamic place to watch a game.
Well, there's a reason why that's going to be a new MLS franchise. They do wonderful support there in Cincinnati.
Also, Player of the Week from Phoenix Rising, Jason Johnson. 3-goal performance for him. It's about all you can say there. A win over Tulsa, a spectacular volleyed goal for Johnson. Also a, no pun intended, rising star for this Phoenix team.
No pun was intended. It was fully intended for you, but good job. But talented player, no question. You can see right here, that volley is something special.
Let me take a look at our team of the week, week number 14. Some of the guys we just talked about, Ledesma in there, Johnson. And I think one of the nice things from week to week, partner, is so many different teams represented. You've got Restrepo from San Diego, Kevin Venegas from Indy. You've got Nashville in there. You've got Sacramento in there. it really does show the scope of just how big the league is in its entirety.
No, without question. Just a tremendous example of how just deep U.S. soccer is right now in all levels.
And continuing to build. We talked about that FC Cincinnati team joining Major League Soccer next year. There's our stats. The one big one, obviously, out of the 4 shots, the one that made its way through and past Evan Lauro. But from a New York Red Bull 2 perspective, look at that 72% possession.
I'm not surprised. And this is what I'm talking about. They have possession, but it's not effective possession. The only way that they're going to truly be successful in the second half, in my opinion, is opening up the field to play a little bit more than they have in the first 45 minutes.
We've seen 15 total fouls, 9 for Ottawa, 6 for New York Red Bull 2, 3 corners so far for the home side and 1 for Ottawa. It is the Fury who lead this 1-0. If you're John Wallach right now, thinking what changes you might see a bit later on, Steve, I think, as you said, can you open the field up? Can you get Stauffer and Cutler involved as those 2 outside backs? When Cutler has been pushing upfield, one thing he's been able to do, he's been able to serve it in.
Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Taniri doesn't step on the field for Red Bull. Such a talented midfielder who opens up the game and does a great job possessing and linking other players. That's
Andrew Tanari, and Ben Mines, a guy who could factor in today as well. We're getting closer to the start of the second half. We're going to step out for a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll take you through highlights, look at any changes that are made, and then be up and ready for the next 45 minutes. Ottawa 1, New York Red Bull 2, nothing.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health. Life years ahead.
Back here from Montclair State University, MSU Soccer Park. We are halfway through this USL match between the Ottawa Fury and New York Red Bull 2. It was the Fury who had the game's only goal. Danjai Reed with the tally, just beating Evan Lauro off to the far post. And Steve, you get that early goal if you're the road team, you feel pretty good.
And for Reed, he steps up with plenty of time, way too much time. Adam a little slow and pushes it to that far post, but the rest of the game was all possession for Red Bull, and all these set pieces that we're about to see. You see here a simple idea by Lima, just barely missing it to the far post, and there was quite a few chances on the day where this Red Bull team was trying to get on the end of it, whether it be here and Caceres just barely missing it out wide as well. Barlow's done a great job, Crepo's done a great job in goal, but there has been plenty of opportunities for this Red Bull team to try to finish it off.
Well, you think about all these set pieces, right? And as you watch the highlights, the one thing that hops out to me is it's been several different guys. Everybody's had their opportunity to figure out a way to get past Crepo. Nobody so far has been able to do it. Cutler has had a couple of chances. Caceres has had a couple of chances. Endom has had a chance in the box on a corner. And now it's all just for New York Red Bull 2. Can they get something past doesn't get much better than not one but two of those opportunities just outside the 18. But as you always say,
Number one rule.
got to put it on target. Red Bulls' next match will be at Louisville City. What a story they are continuing into the U.S. Open Cup. That will be 6 days from now on Saturday, June 30th. For the Ottawa Fury, they will be at FC Cincinnati. Their difficult stretch continues. They will also play next Saturday, that game at Nippert Stadium.
Didn't see there, but that was the D Grand Prix family there joining us today. Mark and his family, along with Dennis Hamlet, here to watch the Red Bull 2 team.
Dennis Hamlet, contract extension over the course of the last couple weeks, the sporting director for the New York Red Bulls.
Phenomenal homegrown signing right after signed his big contract for Liam Jolly, 8-year-old, youngest homegrown contract, and
already locked in, huh?
already locked him in. I think he's negotiating the contract as we speak right now.
You're going to have to move across state lines.
I got to do something, don't I?
Teams coming back on. We'll see if any changes were made. Have not seen anything indicated as of yet from the fourth official. We saw Ottawa, Steve, try and slow the pace of the game down a couple of times in the first half. I would think they are going to move at a snail's pace here in the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big first 10, 15 minutes for me in terms of Red Bull. How do they come out of the locker room? Are we going to see something a little bit different? We mentioned in the stats 72% in possession, but it hasn't been very effective. I'd like to see this team, as I mentioned, spread out a little bit more. You've got guys like Cutler out wide on the right-hand side, and you've got a guy like Stauffer on the left-hand side that can feel comfortable going forward a little bit more than they are right now. And then up top, Moreno on the left-hand side, and then Brian White. Brian White needs to be more involved in this game. He's a talented offensive player, #1 draft pick out of Duke. Let's see him get the ball at his feet a little bit more.
It hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunity or space to really take advantage of anything. Ottawa will be the team who will start with this second half kickoff. And we welcome you back here from MSU Soccer Park with Steve Jolly. I'm Matt Harmon. We are the crew from New York Red Bulls Radio. Happy to be here today on the USL side of things and watching New York Red Bull 2 take on this Ottawa Fury FC team. Teams will play again later in the season back here in northern Jersey on August 31st. They played in the beginning of May. That was a scoreless draw. That game was played up in Ottawa. We saw a good one last night, partner, while we've got a second here. Senior team knocking off FC Dallas, who had lost just one game in 14. And New York Red Bulls took them apart last night, 3-0.
Definitely one of the better performances in 2018 for that first-team Red Bull team. This is a talented performance, even being a man down. A lot of positives to come from that game.
El Bassi will take the throw for Ottawa. 46-minute up and going here, second half. Edward trying to float one over the top for Howarth. Last touched by Stauffer. Throw in for the Fury.
You know, already for Red Bull, their entire bench up, warming up at the end of the field. Day like this, you would assume that we're going to see quite a few substitutions.
Taylor with a nice turn to start and cleared out by New York. Barlow called for a handball as it came off the turf. It's an Ottawa team that only has 4 field players as options today. Full assortment for John Wallenick to choose from, including, as we said, Andrew Tenari, Ben Mines, Stefano Bonomo, all offensive options as this game proceeds. Sloppy clearance a bit by Endom. Akwe has to come over and get a touch. Can't control. And it will go out over the end line. It will be a corner here for the Fury.
And as expected, you can see there's absolutely no urgency whatsoever on this Ottawa team. There'd be none too happy. I mean, more than happy at a score line remaining the same. And try to kill off as many minutes as humanly possible when given an opportunity.
Corner coming for Howarth, headed out by Akwe. Run back down by Oliveira. Lauro able to size it up inside the 6-yard box. Let's see See how deliberate this New York Red Bull 2 team is here in the second half. Tons of possession in the first, 72%. Ethan Cutler with possession. Where's the captain's armband today for New York? It's an extremely young side, no question about it, for New York. Here's Moreno creeping up. Good ball into the box, but played out first time by Atakura. See if New York can get something into the box. That is played down the hill and into the woods. Lima touching back. Stauffer getting a turn down near the end line. Crapo punching it down to himself inside the 6.
Dom doing a good job winning that one-on-one opportunity there.
Cutler out of the air.
There you go.
Controlled by White.
Oh.
Aguinaga cannot control. Caceres can't win the tackle back, but does draw a foul.
Big mantra for the second half. Can everything be a little bit quicker and a little bit sharper for this Red Bull team? Can this be maybe 2 touches instead of 3 or 4? Can you connect the passes a little bit better? But the outside wide ball is definitely on.
Stauffer couldn't get it all the way through. Reed will clear long for Taylor. Endom is back defensively for New York. Taylor holding it up, waiting for help. Good switch as Howarth comes upfield. Cut back to his right foot, across the 18, continuing past the top of the circle. A lot of running to not get anything on goal there for Ottawa. Gier dropping back for Crapo. Barlow selling out there. Cutler with a good touch.
Look at the movement, or
Cutler
lack
keeps
thereof.
walking upfield.
The lack thereof movement off the ball. But here's what I'm talking about. Can it be a little bit quicker and a little bit sharper? Not in that specific situation. Caceres has to be better, and he knows it. You can see his reaction. He's a much better player than what that pass showed us.
Plays one of those defensive midfield spots, which is so important as you move forward and sit in front of the center backs. Slipping forward, Barlow was on the move. Crapo reacting well. 51st minute of play.
You can see here a little scrum. Aguinaga tries his best to find Barlow inside the box. Just barely missed him. Now you have Aguinaga getting forward.
Too long of a run there for Moreno and a wasted ball.
You can see John Woniak's reaction, up in arms over that decision. Poor management, the ball at his feet. I would think that John's probably going to go to the bench sooner rather than later now.
Just to change things up, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me and my money, I'm going to put Taneri on Alta. He was a difference maker a couple weeks ago against Charlotte. I mean, the moment that he stepped onto the field, it changed the complexity of the game completely. He was that link man, and this is what this game is really missing. Who's going to be the link man that can play quickly and early and spread the field out a little bit more? Again, you get to see just how slow. It's a smart decision by Crapo. He's taking as much time as the center official will allow him to get the game started again.
Taylor able to win that head ball over the top of Ackley, but then run down by Endom.
This is what I like to see.
Cutler now with speed coming forward and numbers pushed up ahead. Cutler looked like was trying to draw a foul there, but Obasi with a clean enough tackle for the center official. Caceres. Sloppy changing the point of attack again. Lima able to pick up a deflected ball. Aguinagua turning in traffic, and then a shove to the back of Reed that is not called. Reed's goal early on, still the difference. Has Ottawa leading 54th minute 1-0. Stauffer called for that last foul. How well do you know the USL? Test your knowledge in USL.com's weekly picks competition every Tuesday, and you could win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. It seems like so far, Steve, whatever New York tries to do to speed things up, Ottawa figures a way to counter that and slow it down.
Yeah. And every time a ball goes out of play, they take their time. It's smart decisions. I think I'd do the same thing if I was playing my 4th game in less than 2 weeks.
In the box grab there by Loro.
Look at the lack of movement off the ball. They're starting to spread themselves out a little bit more, and you can see it here on screen. Just look at the lack of movement off the ball and how everything's a little slow. Can everything be done in 2 touches as opposed to 3 and 4 touches? And stagnant runs.
Caceres for Lima. Getting wide for Cutler. That's a good idea. Up the channel for Brian White. He got tripped, and another set piece coming for New York.
One of the better possessions. Gets the ball wide, and now are hopefully can capitalize on this opportunity. This is a very difficult play to defend here for Ottawa. You got to be so high on that 18-yard box, so there's plenty of space between the 18-yard box and the keeper Crapo. Plenty of opportunities for this Red Bull team to get on the end of this one. All you need is a nice little in-swinger. Sorry, an out-swinger in this case.
Lima, a lefty. Aguinaga, a righty. Contact inside. Obasi and Atakora. It was Atakora who wound up on the floor. Endom getting a word from the referee. Now we play. This will be driven across instead of in. Cutler holding things up. Lima dropping back to Stauffer. Caceres now driving it, but no issue for Crapo at the top of the 6.
Matt, you're going to have to help me understand why a team plays a short corner when you have a guy like Endom.
Here comes Reed breaking through. Cutler last man back, and it will be Reed who will score again. On the quick counter, Cutler unable to get Foley back, and it is Ottawa who has grabbed a 2-0 lead.
Really poor decision with the set piece to play short there for Red Bull. Could have easily played inside the box and capitalized on Dom. But in this case, you see the counter attack, plays the ball long, goes right to his feet, and Reed does a great job finishing it off. Cutler late getting there. That good last touch there allows him to open himself up a little bit. And there's nothing too much Laura could do to cut in the angle there.
Second of the day for Reed. This time it will come in the 57th minute. as Ottawa taking a 2-0 advantage here on the road in Jersey.
Right away, you see John Woliak looking at his options and discussing with his coaching staff which player, excuse me, might be inserted into this game.
Now, it looks like Tenari will be one for sure. Service come. Still plenty of time as we enter the 59th minute. Another set piece chance coming here for New York Red Bull 2. Moreno was looking for a foul at the top of the box. Headed out first time and then played back over the end line by Reed. Clearly did not intend to do that. But another chance here for New York, their third corner in this sequence. Aguinaga will be the one who will take it. Red Bull desperate to try and get this lead back to 1. Good job by Dixon to win it first time. And we've got substitutions coming in. Tenari will come in for Aguinaga. That's the first sub. And it looks like Tom Barlow also coming out, and it will be the youngster Ben Mines who will come on. That would be a pretty good indication from John Woliak that he is going for it here to get back into this game. Tenari, a guy who impressed you, just has a great motor, right, Steve? Isn't that a good way to describe him?
Yeah, he's a difference maker. I mean, he gets in, gets involved and engaged in the play as much as possible and early as often. And you can see he just sits behind the front runners, and he's always looking for the ball.
And we've already seen the impact of Ben Mines here with this, not just USL team, but with the New York Red Bull team. Had a goal early in the season that came against Portland.
It allows this Red Bull team to put Ryan White up top, who we usually see him up top by himself. Very active player.
Mines running in there to Obasi, trying to create contact. 61st minute. Similar situation just on the other side that New York Red Bull 2 had in their last game. They led 2-0 against Bethlehem Steel on the road. That lead slipped away, finished in a 2-2 draw. Now they're hoping for the same thing here as Ottawa, the team that's up 2-0 on the road. Is their offense out there for the home side? High arcing ball for Taylor, who continues his run forward. He will be whistled offside. And then elected to play the ball, which will warrant a yellow. Didn't seem to be the best of decisions.
That's a big mantra there by U.S. Soccer to make sure that people aren't slowing the game down.
Maxime Tissot will come on for substitution now coming for Ottawa. Tissot, another guy that is down on loan. Checking out will be the captain, Carl Howarth.
Plenty of time left in this game. Anything can happen. Let's see if urgency starts settling in. It does look like shade is finally washed over the field of play, at least for a brief bit.
And off target for Cutler. Those are the ones that will drive coaches crazy. Keep up to date with all of the best social media from around the league as Kelsey Steele hosts Off the Post every Friday through the league's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds. 2-0 Ottawa leading here, 64th minute of action. Mine, since coming in, has gone to the right side of the field. Tenari operating in his more attacking spot in the center of the field. There's another overlapping run. It's Reed again who's on the move. Reed inside the 18. Left-footed strike, and it's a hat trick for number 30 for Ottawa. Adonijah Reed has made it 3 for the Fury. All 3 for him.
And just like that, we'll see with this replay. Great entry pass. Reed does a good job to beat that left-hand side stopper. It's good first touch here. Cuts the angle, then slices it back. Laura's slow to make a decision to come down or not, but can't really blame him too much. And again, it's Reed with the hat trick. This is the time for Red Bull, too. They've got to start stepping up and making sure they understand they have a responsibility as a professional to take this game to another level, because this just isn't good enough in all aspects right now.
Yeah, disappointing for sure. At home, you're teetering on that playoff line, and this could be 3 big points for the Fury, who started the day in 12th. This would be their 5th win of the year.
Well, you had a first half where 72% of possession, and then obviously that one specific play where the center official decided not to let the play run out, and where Moreno puts it in the back of the net. Game changes dynamic in the second half. I don't think there's much of a change in terms of how this team has performed in the second half as opposed to the first half.
Fury haven't had a lot of opportunities or chances, but the ones that they've had, they have been able to put home. And they'll have another one here, a rare set piece. Bending left-footed strike in towards the back post. Didn't miss. Lauro with Taylor coming on. He'll keep it off on the right flank. Off a double team will draw a foul. Good job. Swung back in again. Lauro able to get a hand on it and knock it out over the end line.
I like the service, though. Not afraid to put some pace on it. Honestly, Lauro does a good job getting a hand on it. What a dangerous, dangerous set piece. This again, takes his time to get to that corner kick.
Well, the game's certainly much easier when you're up 3-0. Fury with just 3 players inside the box. Dixon tried to play it back in. It goes off of Moreno. And a throw in here for Ottawa.
Well, just look out. It's great. I mean, it's just great time management by Ottawa. The ref is going to allow you to take that much time to throw the ball back into play, then you got to take it.
Goal kick coming here for New York, who's going to have to speed things up here as we're into the 69th, almost the 70th minute. And just with a long ball over the top, it will make the opposing box, and it will be grabbed by Crepo. Tissot lost it to Caceres. In transition now, Tenari. Mines on the move. Mines getting it back from White. Tenari with a strike. Certainly better effort and energy from New York Red Bull 2 in that last build-up. But a goal kick coming for Montreal.
And this is what I was talking about. Tenari puts some pace into it. Mines does a good job to cut it back. Comes back to him, and Tenari tries to find that far post, just barely missing it. Crapo doing another great job covering the angle. But Tenari has a little engine in him, and I wouldn't be surprised in the next 20 minutes he gets quite a few opportunities for himself and for other players.
Reed, who's the hero so far today. All 3 goals for the Fury. Against Stauffer, play continues, and that will be a goal kick. Laro here, 71st minute. Tenari wide for Stauffer. Tenari keeps trying to get past Edward. Played back to Caceres. Inside the box, there's a rip by Mines. Covered the near post well. Crapo did, who will make the save.
We're going to see in this replay one of the few times that Crapo's been tested. Good entry pass. Mines does a good job just putting his head down and trying to test Crapo.
Taylor coming down the left side. Was trying to draw a foul on Cutler, the referee. We'll have none of that. Frustrating offensive day for New York. I think more so in that first half, Steve, when they had all those set pieces and couldn't just get one. One changes the complexion of the game.
No question. You can see that, finally, there's some urgency going forward this Red Bull team has. Playing the ball a little bit quicker, start seeing it to get a little bit wider, and this is much better looking here.
Caceres into space for Stauffer. Little off on the pass ahead for Tenari, but Caceres winning it back. Again off for Tenari. This will be a Fury throw in off on the far side. Just about set to enter the 74th minute of action with former Red Bull Metro Star standout Steve Jolly. I'm Matt Harmon. Hope you're enjoying coverage here of the United Soccer League. USL continuing for both of these teams for New York. It is their 15th game of the year. Here's Tissot into space. Cutler is back. That one ripped off towards the far post. And a goal kick coming for Laro. 14th game of the year for the Fury.
Tissot trying to find that far post. Looks up. Does get, at least from our angle, it looked like it was deflected a little bit by Laro, but put in play as quick as possible. You are most definitely seeing some urgency set in, and the ball is moving a lot quicker than we saw in the first 70 minutes here for Red Bull.
Drop to Cutler. Plays Tenari. White. Mines was then looking across the field. Cutler and Tissot do battle, and Cutler will elect to play it all the way into the defensive third for Laro. Tenari has Caceres in space. Inside run by Moreno, gives to Stauffer. For Moreno on the overlap. Edward will play it out.
And you see the encouragement by John Wozniak. Likes to seeing what he's seen over the last 5 or 10 minutes. Ball's moving much quicker. The urgency is starting to set in. This team is trying to get for it.
This will be onside with the touch for Taylor. Played it right into the waiting mitts of Lauro.
Looked to me to be a step or two offside, but fortunately for Red Bull, they're still in it.
End-to-end action coming here.
Good job by Lauro to keep his ground. Cutting the angles and Dom defensively.
Edwards somehow kept it in. Acquay all the way to retreat out of the defensive half for New York.
There's no question this game is starting to open up. Hopefully we'll see an exciting last 15 minutes.
Mines in space. This is played back across for White. Saved by Crapo, and then White on the second shot puts it over the bar. I believe we've got the water stoppage.
Well, Brian White's going to want this one back, no question. Good movement, good entry pass. Mines with a good burst touch right on the 6-yard line. And man, if you're asking for a MVP in the first 75 minutes, it'd be hard-pressed to believe that it wasn't given to either Reed or Crapo right now, because those two players are single-handedly keeping this Ottawa team in the game. Reed doing a great job, only really getting 3 chances and putting it in the back of the net, and then Crapo coming up big time and time again.
77th minute of action. We said for a guy like Crapo, you're down on loan, take advantage of your opportunity.
Boom. He's doing it. Superstar today.
Got to be frustrating for John Wallenick on the sideline. Steve, a guy you know well from your days in Major League Soccer, was such a hardworking player.
Yeah.
He's got to be disappointed with his performance of his team today.
You know, and I mean, that's a person that literally embodies, just a guy who just had a nonstop engine. And he's probably going crazy internally. You can see him right there still engaged in the game, trying to encourage players to finish this game off, try to get something out of it. I mean, there is going to be opportunities. If it continues to do this game, what we've seen over the last 10, 15 minutes, there's no question there's going to be some opportunities for both teams. See if this Red Bull team can capitalize on some.
This group and organization won it all back in 2016. Both the regular season and the USL Cup, a year that they went 21-3-6. Last year, 13-14-5, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Suno coming on. Tony Taylor will check out. Got to like that for Ottawa, right? Make the substitution after the water break. Just work the clock a little bit more.
Taylor had a good game as well. I know we've stressed a lot on Reed and Crapo, but I think Taylor's done a good job holding the ball up, creating some opportunities in space for his fellow front runner Reed.
Sano close to being in. Acquay able to get a touch, but Sano will keep it on. Throw-in coming for Ottawa, who will take their time. Second year for Sano with the Fury. Native of Montreal. Tissot will get his team a throw in the 80th minute. 10 plus and stoppage time remaining. Substitution here for New York. Stefano Bonomo will come on. Exiting will be Chris Lima. Another offensive weapon entering here in the late stages with just about 10 to play for New York Red Bull 2. Tenari dropping it for Lauro. Wasn't quite expecting it. Cleared up towards midfield for Moreno. Foul on New York, so the Fury will take their time putting this back in. Jameer Dixon assumed the captain's armband for Ottawa when Carl Howarth checked out. Mines wanting Brian White on the move, taken back by Obasi. Endam on the angle for Cutler. White and Mines miscommunicate there. Unfortunate for New York. Throw in for the Fury. Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 USL season and bonus content from around the league by subscribing to the league's official YouTube channel at youtube.com/USL. Final 9 minutes and stoppage time. Dixon and Acqui going shoulder to shoulder. Foul that time was called on Ottawa. Red Bull trying to speed things up. They'll use Bonomo. Trying to turn against Atakura. Leaving it for Moreno. Stoffer turning. Pulling back to his right foot. That one is ripped. Crepo got a hand on it. Big save again by Maxi Crepo.
Stoffer does a good job here. He was looking for the pass originally, but then he steps up and just tries to find that back post. And again, it's been a reoccurring theme here today. Crepo coming up big and pushing it out wide.
Corner coming. Acqui was the intended player. It'll be a goal kick here in the 83rd minute. Referee will come down and have a quick word with Crepo. The look at the shot by Stoffer.
Man,
it's a big save by Crepo.
And it's technique 101 right there, coming with the high hand. All the keepers watching today been taught a million times, always play it wide with a high hand. Good job. I think Montreal might be calling somebody back sooner rather than later with this performance.
Certainly he'll get a look. Fury wanting more. Sano will chase for Lauro in the box. Lauro no other option but to play it out. Obasi will come up and take this throw in. Six and stoppage time remaining, and a foul coming here on New York. Oliveira taken down. 10 yards marched off. And a chance here for the Fury to see if they can get to 4. Bending ball in with the right foot. Was tapped out by Cutler. Five minutes remaining as we enter the 86th minute. Again, these teams will see each other at the end of August back here in Montclair. Long way to go still in this USL season. Last weekend, October 9th, last game for New York Red Bull 2, October 13th for Ottawa before the playoffs will start. Top 8 in the East, top 8 in the West will make it.
And Matt, these are good games for certain players to show some personal pride out here and try to push through these last 5 or 10 minutes and give it all you got. Show your coach that you still want it, and obviously we wouldn't question just about anybody's professionalism here. But yet, showing that extra effort goes a long way, especially to a coach who's sitting on the sideline frustrated right now that his team hasn't played to its potential today.
Frustrating would definitely be the word of the day for this New York Red Bull team. Tonari there in midfield. '87th minute as it gets popped back across the midfield line, and that's just fine with Ottawa right now. Even if they've got to not necessarily play quality ball, they're happy to just play long ball. Moreno can't keep it at his feet, 25 yards out. Acquis stepping forward. Bonomo inside. His shot attempt got knocked down by Eddie Edward. Now a foul coming on New York. 88th minute. Caceres and Reed come together. Great ball off his right foot. Back into the air by Atakura. Now Loro with 2 in stoppage time remaining. Moreno ahead for Bonomo. Couldn't keep it moving forward. You factor in the substitutions, the break for water, and the 2 goals. 3-4 minutes of extra time, maybe?
Unless somebody gives the center official a 5 spot to just finish us up right away.
Just heard 5 minutes of extra time is what we'll see.
Obviously, a 5 spot wasn't enough. Should have given him a 20.
It was 5 in the first half and 5 more here in the second. Mines finally getting Bonomo forward. Pulls the string on the shot, but it was blocked down by Atakura. And then a foul coming on Tonari. Dixon remaining down, holding on to his right foot.
See there, the ball gets played through, and Bonomo doing whatever he could physically to get on the end of this one. Comes out here and No question Dixon selling it, but there was a foul, no question. And Dixon with the captain armband finishing this game off. No question this Ottawa team didn't have much possession today, but they did a great job finishing off the chances that they had. And that's partly because maybe single-handedly by Reed. But you've got to also give credit to Crapo. He's done a great job in the nets tonight.
We are into stoppage time. We said 5, and that has been now confirmed. So 5 extra minutes, and it looks like Ottawa is getting a player ready to check in. Just trying to cement away what would be a solid victory here on the road. Caceres couldn't cut it back completely. Red Bull 2 throw-in. Here comes the substitution now coming on. Sergio Manesio will enter his second year with the Fury. He'll come in to solidify things and give Oliveira the rest of the game off as we enter the second minute of stoppage time. Mines will try one from distance.
At this point, I'm not going to blame anybody for trying anything, right?
It has been one of those days.
Mines, you can see, just turns right away and puts his head down, looks up, says, hey, nobody's making a run for him, and might as well try that back post.
Inside the box, Crapo. Entering the third minute now of stoppage time.
Let's see if Red Bull can try to create one last chance. Try to get at least something on the score line.
Acqui stepping forward to keep possession. Cutler losing it in transition to Manila. And then a yellow card coming out as Stauffer stepped in. New York putting it back in play. Unofficially 2 minutes remaining, fourth minute of stoppage time. Crapo will stop it before it goes out of the end line, then grab it with New York oncoming.
Looks like we're just a minute left as this Ottawa team tries to slow it down as much as possible, finish it off, which would be a fantastic result for Ottawa. I know we've mentioned that this is their fourth game in 12 days. They've got another 2 games in the next 4 days.
Here comes Brian White. This will be run down by Otakora. It'll be 3 big points in the table as well for Ottawa. They'll go to 5, 6, and 3, 18 points. And one of the teams that they are trailing coming into the day is this New York Red Bull team, who will fall to 5, 5, and 6. should be the last minute here of stoppage time. Cutler goes through the tackle. Driving ball across. And it just skipped over the foot there of Bonomo. Caceres working back. Mines with a first-time tap.
It looks like that might be the last chance. Mines. See the ball coming across quite a few times. Bonomo just barely missing the end of that one. Play continues. Ball comes across here again by Caceres. Does a good job. Mines just barely misses it high, and looks like Crapo is going to get his well-deserved clean sheet from this game.
Entering the 6th minute here of stoppage time. Referee just checked his watch. Have to think this isn't going to continue too much from where it is, with the result in line for Ottawa. See if New York has one last crack at goal. Across the top of the 18. That shot by Moreno offline. And that will do it as Crapo makes one last save. Between Reed and Crapo, a two-man wrecking crew today for the Ottawa Fury, who win this one 3-0 over New York Red Bull 2. Pick up their 5th win of the year and 3 big points in the Eastern Conference table. We're back to wrap it up after this quick break. USL Soccer here from New Jersey.
With MSG Go, the game goes where you go. So you can watch live Red Bulls games anywhere you want. It's free and easy because if you get MSG, you get MSG Go. Watch your favorite team wherever you are with MSG Go, presented by Lexus. Download it for free where you get your apps.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health. Life years ahead.
Back here from Montclair State University, Matt Harmon, Steve Jowley to wrap this one up. Throughout this match, it was that man right there, number 30, Adaja Reed, who had not 1, 2, but 3 goals. The hat trick today for Reed. And Steve, a very impressive road victory for this Ottawa Fury team.
No question. I mean, you said it. Reed did an exceptional job finishing off his chances. Didn't have too many, but when he did, he put it in the back of the net, and the combination of Reed and Crapo in the goal really was the difference. And you can see here, Reed, good little space there, and finished it off in the back post. It was a great first finish to the far post. This time, you see him put the ball with his feet, look up at where the keeper is. Laura tries to get big, just barely misses his outside of the foot for the second goal.
This will be a frustrating day, you would think, for John Walladick and New York Red Bull 2. We said consistently during the course of this one today, almost a half second slow, a half step slow, one too many touches, and a lot of missed opportunities as you see that goal from Reed to put the hat trick on the board. A lot of missed chances on some good set pieces in that first half.
Well, and that's a perfect example of this team right now being a step slow. And this is one of those games that John Wolniak is pretty much wanting to hope to forget and just kind of move forward, move on. It was an ugly one, no question, and you can see that possession of 72%, and he's not going to be happy, to say the least.
21 shots with 7 of those on goal. Fouls just about even, and 8 corners to just 5 for Ottawa. That was the story of the day. Tons of set piece chances, some of them from just outside the box. But unfortunately for the New York Red Bull 2, it was not their day as the Ottawa Fury make the trip down from the north and take a 3-0 decisive win. The hat trick for Reed, and one guy, Steve, we were very impressed with, Maxi Crepeau, who gets a clean sheet and made a few big-time saves.
Big-time saves. He was the difference maker. He was big in the box, and he was able to keep this clean sheet, and well-deserved clean sheet. The combination of him and Reed were definitely the superstars here today in this game.
Well, as we said, coming up, these teams will continue to stay busy. Both will be in action next weekend. Long stretch for Ottawa and a busy stretch for New York Red Bull 2 as the season continues. We are just entering the dog days, really, of summer, so points will always be at a premium. And for New York Red Bull 2, they'll have to shake this one off and look forward to what they have coming up. For Ottawa, this is 3 big points to pull a little bit higher up in a competitive table in the Eastern Conference. I want to thank you so much for watching. For our entire crew here and my partner, Steve Jolly, this is Matt Harmon signing off from Montclair State University and MSU Soccer Park. Final score, one more time you see it. Ottawa Fury FC 3, New York Red Bull 0. Enjoy the rest of your soccer weekend.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.